Don't let the laughs of Welcome Back Kotter fool you. Looking back in 2026, that iconic classroom was wiped out by a series of ruthless death sentences. Two main stars dropped dead from sudden heart attacks at 60. Another died completely alone, undiscovered for days. The very few who remain are changed beyond recognition. Who do you think is the last survivor standing? Comment below. Welcome back, Kotter. Then and now. Born on February 18, 1954, in Englewood, New Jersey, John Travolta was just 21 years old when he stepped onto the set of Welcome Back Kotter in 1975. As Vinnie Barbarino, the confident leader of the Sweat Hogs, he became the breakout star of the series with his trademark swagger, sharp one-liners, and irresistible charm. The role turned him into a teen idol almost overnight and paved the way for global superstardom through Saturday Night Fever and Grease. Yet behind the fame was a life marked by heartbreaking loss. In 1977, Travolta's first great love, actress Diana Hyland, died of breast cancer at only 41 years old. He was just 23, and later admitted the tragedy changed him forever. In 1991, he married actress Kelly Preston, and together they built a family with 3 children, Jet, Ella Blue, and Benjamin. But in 2009, their eldest son Jet died at age 16 after suffering a seizure during a family vacation in the Bahamas. The devastating loss shook the entire family. 11 years later, tragedy struck again when Kelly Preston quietly lost her battle with breast cancer at age 57. Today, at 72, Travolta remains active in Hollywood and continues to fly his own private jets. The young man who once played Vinnie Barbarino ultimately endured the loss of the woman he loved, his son, and his wife. Some people say that John Travolta conquered Hollywood, but was ultimately defeated by fate. Do you think that statement is fair, or is it too harsh on him? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Look, Judy, what I'm trying to say is, would you want to go out someplace with me in public?
Probably not.
Oh, no. You can't do that. I'm Vinnie Barbarino.
Born on May 7, 1951, in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, Robert Hedges was 24 years old when he joined Welcome Back Kotter as Juan Epstein, the fast-talking sweat hog, famous for his forged excuse notes and endless schemes. Inspired by legendary comedian Chico Marx, Hedges turned Epstein into one of the show's most unforgettable characters. Few fans knew he was also a cousin of famous opera star Mario Lanza. Away from the spotlight, Hedges faced plenty of personal struggles. He was married 3 times, became the father of 2 children, and later helped raise 2 more as his own. Despite his popularity, he found it difficult to escape the shadow of Epstein, and eventually turned to teaching and stage work. In a strange twist of fate, Hedges spent his final years back in New Jersey, where his story had begun. After surviving an earlier heart attack, he performed one last tribute role as Chico Marx in January 2012. Just weeks later, he suffered a massive heart attack at home and died on January 26, 2012, at the age of 60. His body was cremated, and no public grave bears his name today. The man who made millions laugh as Juan Epstein quietly disappeared, leaving behind only memories and laughter.
Juan Luis Pedro Felipe de Huevos Epstein from San Juan.
Your mother's Puerto Rican.
Oi, my grandfather said. Look at the palm trees. Feel this heat. Look at this tan. Hey, who needs Miami? Assault.
Born on September 4, 1953, in New York City, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs was 22 years old when he joined Welcome Back Kotter as Freddie Boom Boom Washington, the coolest and most level-headed member of the Sweat Hogs. While the other students thrived on chaos, Boom Boom's calm confidence made him a fan favorite. Few viewers knew that Hilton Jacobs came from a family of 9 children and worked hard to break into show business. In a remarkable twist, 1975 became his breakthrough year when he landed roles in both Cooley High and Welcome Back Kotter, launching a career that later included Roots, Alien Nation, and The Jacksons, An American Dream. Unlike many television stars of his generation, Hilton Jacobs avoided the scandals, addictions, and tragedies that often followed fame. While several of his former castmates later battled illness, heartbreak, or early death, he quietly built a career that lasted more than 5 decades. Today, at 72, he remains one of the last surviving principal stars of Welcome Back Kotter. In a cast marked by loss, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs became one of the few still standing, a rare survivor from a television classroom that has slowly disappeared with time.
I don't care what the white man says. I don't care what the white man says. Santa Claus was a black man. Side order of ribs, chitlin and potato salad, ham hocks and collard greens. Wash it down with some Kool-Aid. They're gonna live to be 100.
Born on April 28, 1948, in New York City, Marcia Strassman was 27 years old when she joined Welcome Back Kotter as Julie Kotter, the loving wife of Gabe Kotter. While viewers saw a warm and cheerful sitcom wife, the reality behind the scenes was far more complicated. Frustrated with the series, Strassman later admitted she had actually prayed for the show to be canceled. She even publicly feuded with Gabe Kaplan, only to discover years later that producer James Comack had manipulated both actors into believing they disliked each other. After finding new success in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, her greatest challenge arrived in 2007. Doctors discovered that breast cancer had already spread to her bones and gave her only 2.5 years to live. The cruel irony was that Strassman had spent years raising money for cancer research before becoming a victim of the disease herself. Most people expected her story to end quickly. It didn't. She fought for nearly 7 more years, refusing to surrender despite constant pain and declining health. On October 24, 2014, Marcia passed away at age 66. Her body was cremated. Her ashes were
What happened?
It worked. Boss came in 5th. Did I say by the time my cousin Bruce didn't want to go to school?
Why didn't he want to go to school?
All right, you want 2 good reasons why I don't want to go to school? First of all,
born on October 31, 1919, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. John Sylvester White was 55 years old when he joined Welcome Back Kotter as the constantly frustrated Mr. Woodman. With his sharp timing and deadpan reactions to the Sweathog's endless chaos, he became one of the show's most unforgettable authority figures. By then, White had already spent more than 2 decades building a respected acting career that would eventually leave him with an estimated net worth of around $1 to $2 million. Away from the cameras, his life was surprisingly lonely. His brief marriage to actress Joan Alexander, best known as the original radio voice of Lois Lane, ended in less than a year. He never remarried and never had children. As acting opportunities faded, White quietly left Hollywood and moved to Hawaii, choosing a life far from the spotlight. His final years were marked by tragedy. Diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, he spent his last months battling the disease alone. On September 11, 1988, White passed away in Waikiki at the age of 68, becoming the first principal cast member of Welcome Back Kotter to die. His body was cremated, and the location of his ashes has never been publicly revealed. To this day, no grave or headstone bears his name, leaving fans with no place to visit the man who brought Mr. Woodman to life.
Grandmother died 3 times. I still remember the note that he turned in. Violets are blue, roses are red. I'm sorry to announce my grandmother's dead.
No horseplay. Sit up straight. I've still got it. All right, the boys and girls,
What's the matter with you, Kotter? You can remember everything? You don't have to take notes? We'll discuss the Revolutionary War. Now, who can tell me where that war started? Mr. Washington?
Born on April 2nd, 1953, in Elizabeth, New Jersey, Deborah Lee Scott was 22 years old when she appeared on Welcome Back Kotter as Rosalie Hotsy Totsy, the tough-talking female sweat hog who could easily hold her own against the boys. With her sharp wit and fearless personality, she quickly became one of the show's most memorable recurring characters. At the height of her career, Scott appeared in popular productions such as American Graffiti, Angie, and the Police Academy films, building an estimated net worth of around $500,000 to $1 million. But behind the laughter was a heartbreaking story. In 2001, her fiancé, Port Authority police officer John Dennis Levi, was killed during the September 11 terrorist attacks at the World Trade Center. Friends and family later revealed that Scott never fully recovered from the loss. As grief consumed her life, she reportedly developed serious health problems linked to alcoholism and depression. Unable to escape the tragedy, Scott moved to Florida to be closer to family. Just 3.5 years after losing the man she planned to marry, she died on April 5, 2005, at the age of 52. Her body was cremated, and the location of her ashes remains unknown. The woman who played the toughest sweat hog on television was ultimately defeated by a heartbreak she never managed to overcome. Deborah Lee Scott survived the pressures of Hollywood, but she could not overcome the pain of losing the person she loved most. In your opinion, which is more devastating? Failing in your career, or losing the most important person in your life?
Neither. I mean, you just gave Verna Jean the lead, and even though you are my dearest friend, I do not play supporting roles.
Born on April 2nd, 1949, in New Haven, Connecticut, Ron Palillo was 26 years old when he became famous as Arnold Horshack, the excitable sweat hog whose trademark, "ooh, ooh," turned him into one of television's most recognizable characters. While the role brought him nationwide fame, it also became a curse. Palillo later admitted that Horshack typecast him so completely that it cost him major acting opportunities for the rest of his career. Away from the cameras, Palillo built a successful life in theater, writing, and teaching. He never married, but shared a devoted 41-year relationship with his longtime partner, Joseph Graham. Despite an estimated net worth of around $1 to $2 million, he often struggled to escape the shadow of the character that made him famous. Tragedy struck early when Ron lost his father to lung cancer at just 10 years old, a loss he said shaped the rest of his life. In his later years, he found happiness teaching drama to young performers in Florida. But on August 14, 2012, Palillo suffered a massive heart attack at his home. His partner called 911, but doctors were unable to save him. He was 63 years old. Unlike several of his former castmates, whose ashes were scattered or kept private, Ron was laid to rest at St. Lawrence Cemetery in Connecticut. Today, he remains the only deceased principal Welcome Back Kotter cast member, with a public grave fans can still visit.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Horshack.
Yes! Mr. Kotter.
That's what I wanted to do, my term paper on Joseph Stalin. Oh, I admire Joseph Stalin.
Born on March 31, 1945, in Brooklyn, New York, Gabe Kaplan was 30 years old when he became a television star as Gabe Kotter in Welcome Back Kotter. What many viewers never realized was that the show was largely based on his own life. The Sweat Hogs were inspired by real classmates from the Brooklyn high school he attended, but never graduated from. Before fame, Kaplan dreamed of becoming a professional baseball player, but that dream collapsed. After working as a hotel bellman and struggling comedian, he turned his own childhood experiences into one of television's biggest sitcoms. Yet at the height of the show's success, he shocked Hollywood by walking away. Furious over creative conflicts with producer James Comack, Kaplan broke his contract and appeared in only 8 episodes of the final season. Even more surprising, he spent the next 4 decades largely avoiding the spotlight while quietly building a fortune estimated at tens of millions of dollars. He also kept one mystery unsolved. Although he has a daughter named Rachel, he has never publicly revealed the identity of her mother. Today, at 81, Gabe Kaplan remains one of the last surviving stars of Welcome Back, Kotter. The man who created a hit from his own childhood became one of Hollywood's rarest figures, a star who chose to leave fame behind on his own terms.
Famine! Famine! French fry famine? Irish potato famine? Of course, it's the same thing. French fry phantom, Irish potato famine.
And they tell me your father got a new job last week. He became a skin diver for Roto-Rooter.
Born on October 4, 1954, in Iowa, Stephen Shortridge was 21 years old when he joined Welcome Back Kotter as Beau de la Barre, a new sweat hog introduced during the show's later seasons, as producers searched for fresh faces after John Travolta's growing absence. Stepping into a cast already dominated by established stars was no easy task, but Shortridge quickly earned attention for his good looks and easygoing charm. Unlike many actors who spend a lifetime chasing fame, Shortridge eventually walked away from Hollywood almost entirely. After appearing in television shows and films throughout the late 1970s and 1980s, he chose a different path, reinventing himself as a successful fine artist and author. That decision surprised many fans, especially as his entertainment career was still active at the time. Away from the spotlight, Shortridge built a quieter and more stable life than many of his former castmates. With an estimated net worth of around $2 to $4 million, he found success beyond acting and avoided the personal tragedies that affected several members of the Kotter cast. Today, at 71, Stephen Shortridge remains one of the surviving faces of Welcome Back Kotter. While many remember him as the sweat hog who arrived after the show's golden years, he may be one of the few who successfully escaped Hollywood and built an entirely new life on his own terms.
Principal's office is right over there, Beau.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm new here and somewhat dependent upon the kindness of strangers.
I don't have a creative bone in my body, and I can't even draw a stick figure. And I usually ask them, I say, well, when's the last time you practiced a stick figure?
Born on November 26, 1956, in New York City, Melanie Haller was just 18 years old when she appeared on Welcome Back Kotter as Angie Grabowski. Young, talented, and beautiful, she seemed destined for a bright Hollywood future. Few could have imagined that within just a few years, her life would take a devastating turn. At the height of her youth, Haller became the victim of a brutal assault in New York City, a case that shocked the nation and dominated headlines. The attack left deep physical and emotional scars, instantly transforming her from a rising actress into the center of a highly publicized tragedy. While she bravely fought for justice, the trauma forever altered the course of her life and career. Although she continued acting for a time, the Hollywood success many predicted never fully arrived. Instead, Haller became known for her resilience in the face of unimaginable hardship. With an estimated net worth of around $1 to $2 million, she ultimately built a quieter life away from the spotlight. Today, at 69, Melanie Haller remains one of the surviving faces connected to Welcome Back Kotter. The young actress, once expected to become a star, instead spent decades overcoming a tragedy that nearly destroyed everything she had worked for. Born on October 6, 1938, in Englewood, New Jersey, Ellen Travolta was 38 years old when she appeared on Welcome Back Kotter as Mrs. Horshack, the loving but often overwhelmed mother of Arnold Horshack. While many viewers recognized her as a talented character actress, few realized she was also the older sister of John Travolta, who whose meteoric rise to fame was making headlines around the world at the same time. Unlike her younger brother, Ellen spent years struggling for recognition in Hollywood, taking small roles before finally finding success on television. Her career later flourished with memorable appearances in Happy Days, Joni Loves Chachi, and numerous other popular series. Over the decades, she quietly built an estimated net worth of around $3 to $5 million through one of the longest careers in the Travolta family. Away from the spotlight, Ellen endured personal heartbreak when her husband, actor Jack Bannon, passed away in 2017 after more than 3 decades of marriage. Yet she continued working and remained active well into her later years. Today, at 87, Ellen Travolta is one of the oldest surviving performers connected to Welcome Back Kotter. While her younger brother became a global superstar, Ellen achieved something equally rare in Hollywood: a successful career that has lasted for more than 6 decades.
Hallmark is the hardest place to get into, to get talked to. And should I start at the beginning? After he passed away, I still had the Christmas show to do, and I chose to continue to do it.
After 51 years since Welcome Back Kotter first aired, time has quietly brought a golden chapter of American television to a close. The faces that once delivered laughter, familiar lines, and cherished youthful memories to millions of viewers have now, for the most part, passed away. Some left this world far too soon, taking with them life stories filled with ups and downs, illness, and loss. Only a very small number of the original cast members are still with us today. But no matter how much time passes, the memories of Welcome Back Kotter remain as meaningful as ever, serving as a gentle and bittersweet reminder of a talented generation that once made television history. Thank you for joining us as we looked back on the emotional journey of the Welcome Back Kotter cast 51 years later. Although many familiar faces are no longer with us, the laughter, the unforgettable moments, and the memories they left behind will live on forever in the hearts of fans. If this show was once a part of your youth, let us know in the comments which character was your favorite. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you can continue exploring with us the nostalgic stories behind the television legends of a bygone era.